Welcome back to another episode of the Chinanna Show, where we speak about everything mental health and self-improvement related. I'm your host, Anna Banana, and today we're going to talk about the side effects of communication. No, I'm going to look at it from a negative point of view because a lot of us, we see communication as a good thing, and of course it's a good thing. It's always a good thing, but I want to approach it from a negative perspective as to why a lot of us struggle with communication, or we don't like communicating, or have a hard time communicating overall. Personally, communication is hard for me because people aren't always receptive as it relates to, once it's not matching what they believe in and what they are in accordance to, they tend to fight back. And me personally can't take fight back all the time. Like, sometimes I will rebut, but I'm the type of person to avoid conflict as much as I can, which is why communication at times can be very hard. If I realize that I'm feeling very negative, and if I'm feeling very negative and it's a case where it's a strong case that you might fight back while I am feeling negative, I might react negatively, which is why I tend to wait. And a lot of people don't like the fact that I wait until I am ready to talk about it before I go ahead and talk about it, because then they would have already moved on from the situation that I am trying to bring up, which is why I oftentimes just don't say anything about anything. I am aware that, I shouldn't do that, or it's probably not the best way to go about certain things, but it's the best way for me. I know how bad that might sound, but it's the best way for me when you have different people in different spaces, because when I sometimes will get into a conflict and I'll go off and kind of sort out my own feelings. If I come back to you and you want to fight back, why are you bringing this up? I'm not going to want to come back to you again. So there is that issue as well. And communication with others, because we're all such different people, I feel like a lot of times I am being misunderstood, and sometimes it's purposefully because I am not meeting the needs that you want me to meet, or I'm not doing what you want to do. Hence, I become this type of threat to you. And that is the type of mindset I distaste or I dislike, because people will love you as far as you will meet their needs and kiss their ass at times. But when you refuse to do that, or you refuse to meet them the way that they want you to meet them, then it's an issue. For instance, I have been moving back and forth with my mother figure, and she has been a great help to me, and I'm grateful forever for her, and the fact that she's been there for me. But at the same time, emotionally, is actually refused to understand how I am as an individual, and you would think that me living with her for years and years, she would understand me and my patterns. But because me and my patterns have stopped meeting her where she wants to be met, then it's an issue. For instance, I am a social person, but I'm also very introverted. So for instance, it's very easy for me to feel overstimulated, and as such, being that I have to wake up early and go into a work environment every morning that requires me to talk a lot and express a lot of emotions and feel a lot of negative feelings, mostly as it relates to the customers. When I come home, I am drained. I'm drained to the point that sometimes I only can eat my dinner, take a shower, eat my dinner, do the dishes, go to bed. When I come from work, she expects me to be able to sit down with her and listen to her or her troubles or whatever it is that she has on her mind. And because I'm the type of person that needs a lot of downtime, and this is not something that I can do consistently or an everyday basis, because not only does she expect me to do that in the night, in the mornings when I wake up to go to work, I'm supposed to listen to her, and sometimes I understand that these are her needs and she's this type of person, but who the hell gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning to have a long ass conversation? I just don't get it. but I don't understand. But at the end of the day, I don't have to understand what those are her needs. However, the type of person that I am, I cannot facilitate her at every single time, right? So I came up with a suggestion, or I came up with a solution to say, all right then, let's see how I can meet your needs and not string myself up on a hospital bed, basically. So I say, all right then, I'm this type of person that needs downtime. Here is what we're going to do. I need at least an hour or two of downtime, an hour or two without interactions. And when I get those 2 hours and I'm fine and okay, then I can meet your needs the best way possible. So then you will feel good and I will feel good and everybody will be happy. No, she doesn't want that. She doesn't want that in the sense that she's rebutting back, saying that, oh, I have to get used to it because this is my job, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. And what if I have a partner and this is how I'm going to push them away and this and that. And this is what I hate with people, as in dislike with people, when it comes to trying to communicate how you operate as a person and how they can meet you halfway. When you communicate it, they always find a way to rebut your whole personality because it doesn't fit them and their needs. Once their needs aren't being met, it then becomes an issue, and that is what I don't like. It's never, oh, let's see how me and you can work together, I will help you, you help me type of situation. It's more so, I can't get what I want at this moment, so I feel like you're not showing up for me, or you don't love me, or you're not there for me, or whatever. But no, because people can tend to be very selfish as it relates to that, and they don't look, or very tunnel vision. They look at things from a tunnel vision perspective, and as such they can't really see outside of themselves and to realize, oh, this person functions this type of way. And even when it's right in their face, as in you as an adult and as self-aware as I am, try to bring it to her and say, all right, I explained to her how I am, I'm this type of person, however, this is a solution I will propose that you don't feel completely neglected and you still have an issue. Sometimes when it comes to communication, it's best to just act and not negotiate, because when you try to negotiate, people try to one up, as in they try to get what is best for them and not what is best for the overall situation. And I'm not saying that communication is bad, I'll never say that, but it's more so you have to choose the circumstances in which it is best. And maybe I'm saying this because I'm the type of person to see conflict and try to avoid it as best as possible. But if I have to negotiate with somebody about my mental health or what is best for me in a situation, then in that case, you're just not gonna get nothing from me. You're just gonna get the bare minimum as it relates to, I'm just going to do what is best for me and you're going to take it or leave it. This doesn't mean that I'm going to neglect you. This doesn't mean that I'm going to treat you negatively. It's just so whenever I feel very negative and I need some time to just calm down and just be in my zone, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to care about your feelings, because I feel like I have this, I don't feel like I know. I'm this type of person that always, and most people who grow up in abusive homes, they struggle with this too. Like, you always want to, because you have to be around somebody that can be triggered easily and probably want to beat you for no reason. You are now in tune of how the person reacts and how you can please them so that you can protect yourself. And that can pose it's very dangerous for you when time you go into the real world now, still functioning in that type of abusive state where you're trying to ensure that you are pleasing somebody to make them happy so that they don't react negatively to you. We need to reach a place where, especially people who have been abused, because I know that they understand more so what I'm talking about, we need to reach a place where we stand up for ourselves in terms of stating what we need and moving forward and not giving a fuck about how you feel. If I said to you as a friend or as a family member that, listen, I'm not feeling so well right now, so I am just going to talk to you later until I feel better. I shouldn't give a fuck about how you feel, and if you want ball, say I don't come to your house or I don't show up for you or whatever. I shouldn't give a fuck, but at the same time I give a fuck because that is how I was raised to survive. So it's more so trying to move from that space of thinking or that pattern, that and kind of throw away the patterns that we don't need, to now incorporate what is best for us moving forward. Because if you don't change this people pleasing or codependency mindset, it's going to be very damaging for you in the long run. And a lot of people, they don't realize that it's not, they have codependence strategies, or they have codependency tendencies, that I mean to say, and it's not something that, and a lot of people aren't self-aware of themselves. So there is that as well. So it's more so some things, when it comes to certain things, when it comes to taking care of your mental health or taking care of your environment, there are just certain things that you do not negotiate, because people will always try to ensure that even they get what they want. As long as they get what they want, even your mental health should be on the line for them. And some of them don't realize how selfish it is because they're seeing from a tunnel vision perspective. So yeah, that is just my episode for today. Communication the negative side of communication, you don't communicate with someone who is very one-sided and selfish when it comes to their needs. You just do, and eventually they will pick up a pattern, because humans are I call humans very pattern orientated animals. So they pick up certain patterns and habits, they pick up on it, and they pick up on how their environment responds to them. So instead of sitting down and having a conversation about certain things, sometimes it's best to just do, like be very action orientated, to get them to understand that this is what I mean when I say I'm not doing this. Because when you speak and you show up for them the same way, even though you speak about an issue that you were having, and then you show up for them the same way you always show up for them, they're not going to see it necessary to change their behavior. They're not going to see it necessary to improve, because they are still getting every single thing that they used to get from you before. And they're going to even say, well, you used to put up with it before, so why there's an issue now, why you can't put up with it now. They don't understand that before you were just taking it and suffering. It's not that you were, well, technically yes, you were putting up with it before, but you also were taking it and struggling without saying anything. And now you reach a point where you are capable of saying something about it, so you speak out about it. Don't make nobody call you down. Don't make nobody talk over you, and don't make anybody feel like they know what's best for you more than you know what's best for you, unless it is reasonable, in the sense where you are having certain conversations with this person and they're helping you going about a different perspective as it relates to decision making. But otherwise from that, sometimes it's not best to negotiate on certain things. It's not best to communicate as it relates to certain things. It's best to just do and let others see. And that is just my advice as it relates to communication in certain circumstances. Now, this is the podcast episode, and I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys are remaining safe, and I am so grateful for those who continuously show up and listen to my podcast. I really do appreciate you guys. It is approaching the end of the year, so I hope that you guys remain safe. I'm wondering if I should do over about the Christmas safety tips this year. I'm wondering if I should, but I have like a previous episode, so I'm wondering if there are more tips I could possibly add to that. But yeah, I hope you guys remain safe, keep on keeping on, and I will see you guys in another episode. Hopefully by next week I get to put out the the consent episode that I wanted to work on for a long time. It's just that I didn't get enough resources, so I'm just kind of holding off on that one episode until I'm able to get enough resources. But without further ado, I'm going to stop keeping you guys, and I hope you guys have taken something positive from this podcast episode. I'll see you guys in our next podcast episode. Bye.